Hey all you Switch fans, welcome back to the channel. We got another great deal video for you today. Not as big of a sale as last week since we had both the Capcom and Square sales going on. Those sales still are going on, so if you're not familiar with those sales, make sure you check out my last couple previous deal videos. I do cover those. But we still got some really solid indie game choices, so let's take a look at them. Alright, so the first game I want to talk to you about is Paper Ball Deluxe. Paper Ball Deluxe is basically a Super Monkey Ball clone. Honestly, it's a Super Monkey Ball clone that kind of does Super Monkey Ball better than most of the more modern Super Monkey Ball games. It feels much more like a return to the classic style of those first two Monkey Ball games. Unfortunately, it does not have the mini games of the original Monkey Ball game, so it's just the main campaign or arcade mode. But I found this one to be absolutely delightful, still tough as nails. I actually took a look at this game before. I'll make sure that there is a link down in the description, so if you want to see a much more full, fleshed out thoughts on it. But Paper Ball is currently 75% off for $4.49. Alright, so the next game I want to recommend is Aragami Shadow Edition. If you are into the old Tenchu games, you will love Aragami. It's a stealth ninja action game where all of your powers are very focused on the power of using your shadows. Essentially, you power up your special abilities while in the shadows, and while you're in the light, you sort of lose those abilities. You can gain unique ways of moving around, such as warping from shadow to shadow, all other kinds of cool power-ups. It's a very underrated modern ninja game. I really enjoyed it. I think you should check it out. Aragami is currently 60% off for $11.99. Alright, the next game I want to recommend is Sparklite. Sparklite, in its most simplest way to describe it, is The Legend of Zelda meets a roguelike. The game has lots of persistent upgrades and unlocks. Just like in a Zelda game, you will be collecting new items that will grant you access to new areas. But the roguelike mechanic is that when you do die, you get pulled up into this floating city, and when you go back down, the grids and each of the different biomes have basically shifted around, making it a little bit more difficult to re-find where you want to go. Really, my number one complaint with Sparklite is actually that I think it was over much too quickly, but a sale kind of takes away that sting. It's currently 70% off for $7.49, which I think puts it at the right price where it's going to feel like a worthwhile purchase. Alright, so the next game I'm going to recommend is Steel Assault. Steel Assault is a balls-to-the-walls, super high-octane action run-and-gun game. It is very much meant to evoke an old-school feeling vibe. The developer even made sure that it was developed at the perfect resolution for gaming on a classic CRT TV. On top of all that, this game has an amazing soundtrack. One of the best retro chiptune soundtracks you're going to hear in a long time. This is another game that unfortunately though is very short, so the sale price really does again take away a lot of that sting. It's currently 40% off for $8.99. I think that just brings it into the point where I think you're going to feel like you get your money's worth. Alright, so my next entry is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. In my personal opinion, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is one of the most beautiful video games ever made. Such a sucker for these old pixel style graphics, and here it's brought to life in a way that is truly like a piece of art. And on top of all that, of course, it's all layered on top of what is one of my favorite gaming genres, the beat 'em up. Not just a beat 'em up, but a beat 'em up with a lot of really great RPG mechanics. Do be forewarned, those RPG mechanics are going to be necessary to get past some of the later levels. So you're going to have to be okay with replaying some levels to grind out and get to that higher skill level to be able to push through. But this one is a modern day gaming classic for a reason. Do not miss Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It's currently 50% off for only $7.49, an absolute steal at that price. Alright, so my next recommendation is Darksiders War Mastered Edition. I believe all the Darksiders games are on sale right now, but my favorite is the original. The original, if you're not familiar with it, basically takes a God of War style combat, but blends it with a Legend of Zelda style structure. You'll be moving around a big overworld map, basically making your way into dungeons, gaining new abilities. If you love Zelda games and you can't get enough of that genre and you don't mind some tough combat, this is a really great entry into your game library. It is currently 60% off for $11.99. That's so much cheaper than I paid for it back in the day, and it was still worth it at $60, so it's definitely worth it at $11.99. Alright, so my next recommendation is Mechstermination Force. Mechstermination Force comes from us from the same developer as Gunman Clive. This game had the unfortunate, terrible timing of releasing alongside Cuphead. I say terrible timing because this is another run and gun boss rush style game. But it is a great boss rush style game. You're fighting against these gigantic mechs in comparison to you. You'll be climbing all over their body, finding their weak spots, slowly whittling away their health. This game is super underrated and so many people don't know about it. You really need to check out Mechstermination Force. It is important to know that just like Cuphead, this game is tough. You're going to have a lot of patience and a decent amount of skill to enjoy it. And it's currently 50% off for $5.99. Alright, so my next recommendation is Demon's Tilt. Demon's Tilt is basically a spiritual successor to the old Crush series of pinball games that were on the TurboGrafx 16. This is a multi-level video pinball game. So the game includes 3 levels of pinball action where you're going to be taking on enemies, blasting them with your pinball, avoiding traps, taking on even boss characters. The game has an amazing art style. Again, I would say though the theme obviously isn't for everyone. Not everyone's going to appreciate the theme, but if you can get past that, it really is a great pinball game. Just like some of the other genres I love, I'm a sucker for pinball games, so take that into account with my recommendation that I love this genre. Demon's Tilt is currently 50% off for $9.99. I still think if you're a little unsure whether or not you would like it, I would wish list it and wait for it to go even cheaper. But if you like video pinball, I think you're going to like this one. Alright, so my final recommendation is actually not one I've tried yet, but I've heard the reviews are great. So in this sale, I'm picking up Superliminal. Superliminal is a Portal-style first-person puzzle game. The basic concept, as I understand it, is you will be picking up items or moving things and basically altering their angle in the camera so that when you drop something, maybe it's twice as big or it's in a new spot where you need it to be. It's all very much playing with perspectives. But I remember this game getting a lot of good solid buzz when it first came out, so I'm excited to try it out. All right, so let's take a look at the deal reel, see if there's anything else that looks good to you.
You don't like the lights, but it's camera time. Said take the picture, but you rolled your eyes. Now I'm mortified and still terrorized. Push me behind to get me from my better side. I wanna push you back, but that's all you want. Wanna rub me up, I'm holding back. Tryna get me framed, throw me in cuffs. Said I attacked you, that's just a false truth. No need to argue. And yeah, I've had enough. You follow me anywhere I try to be alone. I find you there. There's more to me. Everywhere I try to go alone, I find you there. You follow me anywhere I try to be alone, I find you there. Oh, there's more to me, but anywhere you're there, I find you there. I'm so scared to leave my house, so I cannot run free from this. Always being watched by you, and that's so inconsiderate. My privacy, does that exist? Probably haven't heard of it. Need to live a different life, cause lights and cameras are in it. Trying to find a silver lining. All I wanna do is avoid the violence. But you're here again, I'm losing it. There's no more screaming in silence. Get out my face, turn off the flash. I hate the fame, no more of that. Leave me alone or I'll collapse. I need a break, don't feel the crowd. You follow me anywhere I try to be alone, I find you there. There's more to me, everywhere I try to go alone, I find you there.
Alright, I hope you enjoyed that deal reel. There's a lot of solid choices this week. Some great indie games and some bigger AAA style games. Like I said, if you didn't check out the Capcom or Square sales, make sure you click on one of the end cards I'm going to have up. Make sure you subscribe, and until next time, Tricksters, I'll see you later.